In the rush of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But taking control doesn't mean doing everything at once. It's about making intentional, manageable changes that add up over time. Below are 10 fresh tips to help you find balance, boost your well-being, and move forward with purpose. Let's get started. To begin, you can reduce food waste by freezing half of your produce as soon as you come back from grocery shopping, especially when you're living alone. So maybe this is what everyone who lives alone does. But what I do is, as soon as I come back from grocery shopping, whatever in the day's haul is freezable, I'll freeze half of that. For example, I get fruits to make smoothies, but I can never get to them fast enough, so I rinse and dry them and Ziploc them into the freezer. There is no need for ice in smoothies now. I'm looking at you, strawberries. Pack of 5 chicken breasts. 5 individuals containers or Ziplocs, so I don't have to thaw the whole lot every time I want just one, Of course, bulk making ginger, garlic pastes and curries and freezing them in big silicone molds is always good and popular. What other similar tips do you have to reduce food waste when even the smallest packages last long time when you're living alone or even in grocery shopping? The next advice is that when buying a used car, run a search on Google for the VIN number. Whenever you are interested in buying a used vehicle, make sure you search the internet for its VIN. Oftentimes, you will be able to check if you are getting a good deal or not, but the biggest benefit is finding older photos of the vehicle on any bid auction sites that show it as being wrecked or totaled previously. You can sometimes even find the police reports or damage reports from city websites with regard to your used vehicle if it was involved in an incident prior. Thirdly, rinse your ice for a couple of seconds to prevent loss of fizz from drinks. Most ice has rough edges initially, which create nucleation sites when adding to fizzy drinks. These sites can cause the dissolved carbon dioxide, CO2, in the drink to form bubbles more quickly, leading to a faster loss of carbonation. It feels weird, but a quick initial wash has helped me keep my fizzy drinks fizzy in the summer for years. Another advice is to set a light in your room to come on a few minutes after your alarm. If you randomly wake up and the light is off, you know it's safe to go back to sleep. If the light is on, you know you've missed your alarm and need to get up. Alarms are annoying, and you learn to ignore and turn them off automatically. This helps especially if your alarm goes off before the sun comes up, because it's an obvious signal. It also has the added bonus that there's no easy snooze button involved. With a light, you don't need to look at your phone or a clock. It's not meant to wake you up, but to be a signal that fills the entire room. You can even see it with your eyes closed. Fifthly, build a consistent bedtime routine to improve your sleep quality. If you struggle with falling or staying asleep, try setting a fixed bedtime routine. It's one of the most effective changes I've made for better sleep. After trying countless things, here's what works for me. A quick, cool shower to wash off the stress of the day. Journaling for a few minutes to reflect and clear my mind. A simple meditation practice, I use one I learned from Sadhguru, to settle into a calm state. I also avoid screens entirely before bed. No phone, no TV. That's been a game changer. Your routine doesn't have to look like mine. The key is consistency. Find a few calming activities and stick with them every night. Over time, your brain will start recognizing the routine as a signal that it's time to wind down. At number 6, the moment you turn 18, create your own bank account. I keep seeing a trend of people in their late teens or early 20s having their savings stolen from them by parents through a shared access bank account. It also happened to me. It doesn't matter how much you trust them. Your money should only ever be accessible to you, especially if you have saved a large sum of cash. For people under 18, if you suspect your parents may take money from you before you can create a private account, keep your money in physical cash and hide it well. A sock drawer won't cut it. Money is very easily hidden. DVD or game cases are a perfect place, as long as they don't have a tendency to steal your items. Seventh advice is track your natural energy and focus patterns for 5 days to discover when you're actually productive, not when you think you should be. After years of struggling with productivity advice that never seemed to work for me, I discovered something that completely changed my approach. For 5 days, I logged my energy level and focus ability hourly on a simple 1-10 scale in my phone's Notes app. I was actually pretty surprised with what I found. My actual peak productivity windows were at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., not 8 a.m., 4 p.m., when I'd been forcing my hardest work. My energy predictably crashed around 2 p.m., when I had been scheduling important meetings. My focus naturally ebbed and flowed in roughly 90-minute cycles. Certain environments and contexts consistently boosted or tanked my concentration. By simply rearranging my schedule to match these patterns instead of fighting them, my productivity dramatically improved. I now complete difficult tasks in focused bursts when my brain is naturally ready for them. This method has been especially helpful for my ADHD. Instead of feeling broken because I couldn't maintain focus for 8 straight hours, I learned to leverage my natural peaks and plan around the valleys. If you struggle with conventional productivity methods, try tracking your own patterns for a week. You might discover your brain has a natural rhythm that doesn't match standard advice. To be transparent, I've started developing an app around this idea, but I'm not here to advertise or sell anything. This post is solely to help others who struggle with productivity like I did. The method works with just pen and paper or notes on your phone. Almost there. Here's how to break free from feeling anxious or scared. Saying, "Nah, I care too much," when feeling anxious or scared, can help ease the feeling. Fear or anxiety often shows up not because you're in danger, but because you care deeply about what's ahead, or what might go wrong, or what could be lost, and that's a sign of how much heart you have. By saying, "Nah, I care too much," instead of "I don't give a fuck," you interrupt the internal feeling or mental spiral. When you say, "I don't give a fuck," it's like you're letting the emotion flow while simultaneously denying that you actually do give a fuck, creating a sort of internal conflict. They might sound similar, but the effect is different. Try it and see how it feels. Advice number 9. Communication isn't about being right, it's about being received. I'm not saying you need to be a communication guru, but just being a bit more aware of how your words land can change everything. I used to think if my intentions were good, that was enough. Turns out, people don't always hear what you mean. They hear what hits them. I heard this line somewhere. What you're talking is not important. It's about how they receive it that matters. That stuck. Now I pause before I speak. Ask myself, will this actually help or just sound smart? It's a small shift, but it's made my conversations way smoother. Finally, peppermint oil will help keep out unwanted spiders in your house. I used to live in Louisiana, where spiders would generally like to come inside a lot when it would rain. I generally do not mind, as they keep other pesky bugs out, but I rather them stay in my garden area than inside. Peppermint oil, any kind really, keeps spiders away. Dap a drop in every corner of the house and door, window opening. They will stay away, as they do not like it, since it disrupts their sensory receptors. Not only that, but if you love the smell of peppermint, your house will smell faintly of peppermint, depending on how much you use. Note, I wanted to add that this is risky if you have pet, as the fumes can be toxic to birds, dogs, cats. Use in moderation and in places they cannot reach it to lick it. I personally have a few dogs and never had issues with their health for this reason, but I only use 1 drop near the outside of my doors and on my windows, and they never got to those places. Always keep a close eye on your babies regardless. They are curious creatures.